So, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I will not be reviewing a product as usual. However, I'll be reviewing a different kind of product because products come in goods and services. So, this one I'll be reviewing today is coming with a different kind of package. I would say it's a kind of service more than it is a product or a physical commodity. Now, let's get deeper. Now, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I started a bold step by applying to this, the MIVA Open University, and then taking a look at their admission package. I'll start by this because most people go into this first, but I'll also give you a deeper dive into the institution and how it operates. So, on opening the admission package, I get a couple of items over here. First of all, I get this shirt, which looks good. Okay. This is what it says. MIVA Open University, Master of Business Administration. And just behind it says, I think, reach higher or something like that. So whatever. Then next year we can see this beautiful water bottle, MIVA Open University, the name is inscribed on it. However, I think this is a thermometer. I think you touch it to activate it. How does it activate? Wait. Okay. So now it says 28 degrees Celsius. I don't know how it's regulated temperature. I'll try and see a difference. Let me put some cold water inside and see how it would be maybe towards the end of the video and see if there's any relevant temperature change. So before putting the water inside, it said 28 degrees Celsius. And I think the water I put inside should be at least 20 degrees Celsius. So towards the end of the video, I'll go back and check it and see if there's any difference in the temperature. Still 28. Let me check it again. Yeah, 28. So we'll see if there's any difference towards the end of the video. And then it has this. Welcome to MIVA Open University. How to get started. I think this is just like an introduction of how to go about your LMS, which is called the Learning Management System. Okay, yes, you can see that's your admission pack. Now that you have received your admission pack, which should contain your official admission letter and student identification card, just confirm your details are accurately captured on your admission letter and student identification card. Step 2, set up your student email, access your student information system, which is like where your portal is, like your profile. Let me just say that. The element is like where you get your classes from. It's a site or a portal where you go to. Your classes are there. Some quizzes are there which will help you to interact better and to learn them faster. Then complete your orientation course, which is like an introduction, the whole stuff. And that's just all. Then here we have the admission letter. We have a, a good pen from the institution with the name inscribed on it. MIVA Open University. Then my student's ID card with my information on it. And this card, which says, congratulations on joining the MIVA postgraduate program. I am thrilled you chose MIVA Open University to guide you as you advance your career. Get ready for a transformative learning experience that will equip you with the skills and knowledge to thrive in your career. We are committed to you. I think committed, I wanted to write me typographical error, to your success and will support you every step of the way. Say hello to us at MIVA University. See you in class. Just a kind of introductory card. Then we also have here a jotter, which seems very useful for taking down notes, maybe for classes or something like that. And have it licensed by the National University Commission, NUC. Then here we have the admission letter addressing me, my name, and all of that. Just intricate details. Now, comparing the National Open University with the MIVA Open University, the MIVA Open University is a private institution and an open university. So, open university means that you can study almost from anywhere, and the studies are mostly online. So, unlike a conventional university, you do not need to visit the place directly. However, comparing this to the National Open University, like I said, National Open University is government owned, state owned, and then with most institutions that are owned by the state in Nigeria, there's a tendency that they should malfunction at some point. Not to say that the Nigerian system is a failure, no. But then, because of the large population and let's say, the funding practices or the funding measure, the way they go about with their funding and with the management of this educational system, there is bound to be some few lapses. Some people prefer the National Open University to conventional Nigerian universities for their own reasons. People who are working and studying, especially, are in that category. And for me, especially, I feel it is an opportunity to learn and also study. So, learn, I mean by working. So, when you're working on the job, you're learning from the job. You're also studying in university and you can apply what you learned in the school. And this is kind of solid. MIVA Open University. MIVA is licensed by the National Universities Commission. You can see it. I think these are some numbers behind that you can contact. And overall, the packaging looks very quality. And even for the student learning program, the learning management system, yes, LMS, it is very interactive. And I've never had any issue of maybe the network going down or maybe due to traffic, all of that. However, some people may have recorded, I think, based on their system, whatever system they use or yeah device they use in accessing the portal. So with the way they do it is learn at your own pace. So nobody forces you to attend classes. Nobody forces you when to take your test. However, we have a deadline when to take those tests. And also for the classes, we have two major ways. First, we have a course material, which is like a bulky textbook, I'll say. Soft copy you can download, you can print it as well if you like printing it. Most of them are between 100 pages and let me say 300 pages. Most of them are 100 pages, just that. And then on the LMS, as the learning management system, we have activities that we should carry out in a day. So, for example, you have a brief summary of a particular, let me say, chapter or a study session, because we have study session 1, 2, 3, and some have it to 6, some have to 8, but majority of them have study session 1 to maybe 5 at least. And then within each study session, they have maybe section A and section B and maybe section C. Some have only A and B, some have just one section. So in the LMS portal, on each day, under each session, they don't really classify by days. You can decide to do it daily, you can decide to do it weekly. So that's the advantage and disadvantage as well. If you're a lazy student or you are too busy, you might forget that you are meant to study. However, if you are able to manage your time properly and allocate the days and the time to study, then it will be very easy for you, depending on when you resume as well. So you can meet up with deadlines. And they have different modes of assignments, which are usually communicated to the students using the LMS portal or the SIS, that's Student Information System. So whatever. And this is my first phase, my first semester, and I'll take my assessments very soon. So when I take my assessment, I take my examinations and my results are out, I would come back and give a detailed report about this institution and how it operates. So thank you. And I hope you have learned a little bit and we can all learn together as well as we navigate this system of the MIVA Open University. So for the water bottle, after posting it for a while, I recorded a temperature drift. So from 28%, 28 degrees Celsius, it dropped to 27 degrees. And I think 1 degree is a kind of big deal. You guys who use this bottle most of the time, this kind of bottle that has maybe a thermometer or a kind of clock on top of it, how do you get it charged? Do you charge it with electricity or do you change the batteries when the batteries get dead? Or do you put it on at the sun for it to get charged? So I don't know. The whole thing seems to be quality. And stay tuned for more information on the MIVA Open University. And you can also ask some questions if you are seeking to apply for the next cohort of the MIVA Open University. Thank you. Cheers to more success.